Hey guys, this is Erica, the Love Coach.
And this is Leash, the Chakra Queen. And you are tuned in to the Let It Go Sis podcast. Let it go, sis!
Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce our new podcast. And this is my co-host,
Hi,
Alicia. On this podcast, we are going to be talking all things spiritual.
And other shit.
The other things that we're going to be talking about are like childhood trauma healing after toxic relationships, also
like twin flames, soulmates, things like that. You know, anything involving a healing journey.
So we decided to do this podcast together because we have been friends for about 15 years, and not gonna lie, we had a toxic friendship.
Toxic as fuck.
We realized that we were meant to be friends for a reason. That's what you call divine timing. Divine timing is basically the belief that the universe sends you exactly what you need at the exact right time that you need it. And with that said, we feel like everything happened on this spiritual journey exactly when it was meant to happen.
Because I think like with our friendship, I kind of got into Buddhism about 5 years ago. I got into Buddhism, kind of started my healing journey, and I think you started yours at the same time.
Yeah, it was like, I want to say 2019. We got into a little argument. It was definitely petty, but
something petty.
We always get into it over stupid stuff, and that's why we realized it was a toxic friendship. Because when you fight about dumb stuff all the time, it's usually something deeper than what you're fighting about.
Like when we, came back to each other, like we're back there. When we came back to friends, we realized that a lot of the reasons why we were getting into it like that was because of trauma and not realizing how to actually communicate with each other, even as friends, because everybody thinks, oh, communication for relationships. No, like even as friends, we had to learn how to actually communicate and listen to each other. She would say something that would hurt me, or I would say something that would hurt her, and instead of saying, Erica, that hurt me, we would just be like, bitch, F you, bye. And Erica is a blocker.
My block game is strong. My block list is longer than my contact list.
Erica would block in like 2.5 seconds. So it was just kind of like, for me, I feel like, which is something that I learned, like I feel like I'm a person that's kind of like, okay, we had a fight, we're over it in 2-3 days. Erica's like, no, I'm never talking to you again. So, we both learned that within our trauma healing, which was dope. Like, throughout our trauma healing, now we're closer because we learned how to deal with each other, because we understand each other's triggers now. Right. Yeah, so
we know how to handle things, whereas before, if she said something that triggered me, we'd start arguing. But now I know to just let it go, and if I know I say something that triggers her, she doesn't jump down my throat, I don't jump down hers. In 2019 was when we got into that petty argument and we stopped speaking for a few months. It's crazy, and the reason why I say that it's divine timing is because when we stopped speaking, I was like going through my own personal things. I think I had just had a bad breakup with someone that I wanted to be with forever, and it didn't work out. So after we stopped speaking, I actually ended up hiring a spiritual life coach. And literally a few months after taking her class, which is actually about manifesting, that's something we're going to be talking about on the podcast as well. After taking her manifesting class, me and her actually became friends again out of the blue. Divine timing. And she told me about all the stuff she's been learning, Buddhism stuff, and she also learned about manifesting as well. And we started talking about everything. Right. And we realized that we felt like it was meant to be. This was meant to happen. We were meant to stop talking for a few months so we can go on our separate paths, learn what we have to learn, and then come back together in divine
when we were on the same vibration. We were able to kind of teach each other, like, because I was more into like chakra healing. I'm not sure if you were into stones like I was, but I was into crystals and stones and stuff like that. Buddhism, meditation, stuff like that. Erica was more on positive thinking, mindset, like money mindset, stuff like that. The abundant mindset coach. Abundance coach. So pretty much what happened is we just started sharing the knowledge that we gained on both of our journeys, and then here we are. Like, eventually we just started figuring out, like, everything together. One of the things that we both talked about was like ego death, which is probably like the biggest thing in the spiritual healing or healing journey, whatever you want to call it.
Everyone has an ego.
Everybody has an ego death. And I think even us doing this right here, sitting here talking here is an ego death, because I think prior to this, we probably wouldn't have done this. We probably would have both been scared. You know, everything that...
Fearless now.
Everything that's for you in life is on the other side of fear. And us going through this journey together, we realize that. And that's why we think this is great for us to do together, because we're like...
Might as well.
Right.
We really wanted to do this podcast, not just to talk about our own spiritual journey and our trauma healing, but also to help other people who are on the same path, on the same journey, who need help healing, because it's not all pretty, you know. It's crying, it's feeling depressed, it's being lost, not knowing what to do. I did start my own coaching business, but I took a little break from that, and the reason for that was due to my trauma healing. It took a lot of energy out of me, and I just felt like I wasn't ready to be coaching one-on-one full-time with people if I'm going through my own stuff. Even though you can still help people, I wanted to make sure that I'm like really good to help my clients the way that they need to be helped. So I took a little break from that, and we decided to do the podcast because I feel like I can still help people that way by just sharing our own stories, you know?
Everybody feels like being spiritual is this whole like, oh, let me do yoga and meditate. Yes, but no. That's not what this is. It's like she said, it's a whole bunch of crying, you know, having thoughts of like, what am I even here for? Like, nobody cares. Like, just a lot of things. Like, why did I have to go through this? Like, honestly, it's like beautiful and hard simultaneously. Like, it's both at the same time. Like, me and Erica would talk about it. Like, how the fuck, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to be cursing, but how can we feel?
We're authentic, guys. One thing we talked about is we're gonna make sure this podcast is authentic. So we do curse a little bit.
I curse a lot of it. But
a lot of it. we might curse here and there, but we're authentic. We don't want this. I mean, we could talk about that as well. Like, we want it to be authentic. It's gonna be real.
We're gonna be ourselves.
Exactly. It's all about our personal healing journey, what we went through, how we got through it, what we did, and like she said, it's not all. I always say this: it's not rainbows and unicorns. It's definitely there's a lot of pain, but it's worth it in the end because like look at where we are right now.
That's true.
Used to be camera shy. I remember I first started working with my coach, and she was like not forcing me, but telling me, you know, go live, do live videos, do this, and I was like, no. So being here right now shows the growth that we have.
Crazy. It's true. We're in our divine.
We're all divine. We all have a divine purpose to fulfill. You know, some people don't get to that level because they don't want to heal, and that's why the healing process is not pretty. So it's hard to get to where you want to be, but the pain is definitely worth it. So we are excited to do this podcast for everyone and for ourselves because we feel like this is what we're meant to be doing.
And just being in this type of energy, I feel like will continue us on our own healing journey, especially speaking to other people that are going through healing. We could interview other people as well who have things to say that we don't even know yet, because you know the healing journey never stops. You know, it's ongoing. Your triggers are always there. Your shadow self is always there. You always, you know, it's to learn to tame that side or to work with both sides. You know, your soul and your ego, and that's something we'll talk about. So we're excited. I'm excited to be doing this. Like, I never thought that I'd be doing like a podcast, but this is cool. Like, you know, I'm a photographer. It's like
something different.
Something different. It's definitely a new. Honestly, we talked about being authentic, and I just honestly feel like this is what it is for me. Like, I love it. Like, I love the fact that we can sit here and help people. So, you know, I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. Look forward to that because we're going to be having, it's not just spiritual stuff because like we said, we're going to be ourselves, we're going to be authentic. So it's going to be fun also. We're not going to just be like, so guys, today we're going to learn about spiritual stuff.
That's the other shit.
The other shit.
That's the other shit.
But we're going to do question and answers. Sometimes we're going to try to go live and maybe answer some questions as well. Also, have people. We're gonna have guest stars on the show talking about their own journeys because I mean, everyone's journey is different. So it's gonna be dope to just hear everyone talk about their stories. So that's pretty much it. We'll let you know when we launch our first episode.
Yes, honey.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Let It Go Sis podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Let It Go Sis podcast and my personal page, Erica Christine.
And my personal page at Artiste Photography and Chakra Queen 222.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Bye.